Well, hey, sweet people, and welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome especially. I'm so glad you stopped by. My name's Sally. I am a nutritional therapy practitioner. I share all things nutritional therapy, but especially delicious, nourishing, practical recipes. In this video, today's video comes to you by special request. I am making some breakfasts that can be made ahead of time. They are high protein, they are nutrient dense. You can grab them as you are going through your morning in a hurry, whether you're trying to get kids out the door to school or get yourself to work, and you don't have to worry about it. They're ready to go. So first one we are gonna make is some egg bites. I do this recipe a little bit different every single time, so please just take this as a starting point. But we are doing a dozen eggs, and then I'm going to add a cup of cottage cheese. This is the, I think, 2% milk fat cottage cheese from Good Culture. And by the way, I am going to put full macros for each of these recipes down in the description box, so you can consult them there. I'll talk through kind of protein as we go through the video. But anyways, a cup of this cottage cheese, and then I am doing a half cup of Greek yogurt, and you could totally do just yogurt or just cottage cheese. I did add a quarter cup of milk as well, and this is what I mean by saying I kind of fly by the seat of my pants when I put these together. I wouldn't recommend adding milk. I don't know why I got worried that it was going to be too thick, but they ended up being a little bit wetter than I would have preferred. And then Parmesan cheese. So you can add however much you want, but I just add an ounce to this recipe. I will say this recipe is greatly enhanced when you add something like bacon or sausage. You could add feta cheese. You could add more Parmesan. This is really just the in a pinch, here's what I have in my fridge version, but add in any delicious things that you have on hand and they will be even tastier. So now I am just going to divide my egg batter between 24 little muffin holders. This perfectly filled up, again, just 24 of those little muffin tins, and I have the silicone ones, which are really easy to work with and pop them out of. I just greased them lightly. Now they are going into a 350 degree oven. They're going to bake for about 25 to 30 minutes. I think this batch took about 30, but just keep an eye on them. They're rather resilient, but of course you don't want them to get too done. You can see pulling them out, they haven't really changed color, but they have puffed up nicely and set completely. So I'm just pulling these out to cool. They cool for about 20 minutes, and then when they're workable, it maybe doesn't even take that long. You're just going to pull them out and pop them into a container to keep in the fridge. So each one of these egg bites contains about 5 protein, just over 5 protein. So if you want this to be your primary protein source, your only thing for breakfast, aside from a piece of fruit that you're going to grab with it to get your carbohydrates in, you could have 6 of these. That's going to get you 30 protein. Grab a banana, grab an apple, and you have a balanced breakfast ready to go. Okay, so next thing we are going to make are my breakfast style charcuterie boxes, is what we're going to call them. And I'm starting out by boiling some eggs, or rather steaming some eggs in my Instant Pot, which if you have an Instant Pot, this is 100% the way to go when it comes to making hard-boiled eggs or soft-boiled eggs, whatever you want to do, because something about like the air getting under the shell when you're more steaming them than boiling them makes them incredibly easy to peel. So I have this silicone, this was just gifted to me, a silicone egg basket situation, but you can totally use the metal grate that comes with the Instant Pot. And I'm just placing 6 eggs on here because that's how many I wanted for my boxes today. Sealing this up, closing up the Instant Pot, and then I'm not going to use the egg setting because that ultimately cooks them a little bit more than I prefer. I'm just going to use the manual setting for 3 minutes and close it up, let them cook. I think I actually forgot to show myself setting the Instant Pot, but that should be pretty straightforward. You know how to do it. Once they're done, which they are here, I am going to immediately let the steam out, release the pressure, and then I'm opening it up. I have an ice bath over to the right of the screen, and I am transferring those eggs as quickly as possible into the egg bath because we want them to stop cooking. Of course, I'm trying to grab hot eggs and burning my hand, which is something you'd think I'd have learned not to do by now, but alas. So once your eggs have sat in that egg or that ice bath for a few minutes and they are once again workable, you're gonna start peeling them. Pro tip, like little hack, if you peel them underwater, whether it's a running faucet or dip them in a bowl of water, it's way easier to get the shells off. Okay, so now I'm grabbing a few of my glass meal prep containers, and I'm going to put 2 eggs into each box. And you could, sprinkle these with whatever kind of seasoning you want. I just do salt and pepper a little bit later on, you'll see, but you could totally do like everything but the bagel seasoning. That would be really yummy. I've even seen people break open like beef liver capsules and sprinkle them on the eggs. I prefer not to do that, but you could if you like that kind of thing. Okay, so now I have prosciutto. I love prosciutto. It is so delicious. It's so high protein. And it's also, I was talking about in a previous video how I struggled to get enough sodium in, and it's a great way to get that sodium in. The cured meats, like the truly cured, not like nitrate free, at least added nitrate free meats are a great way to get sodium in. And then we are adding half an ounce of parmesan here to get my macros where I want them. So overall, this has 33 protein. You have 4 slices of prosciutto, 2 eggs, and half an ounce of Parmesan cheese. Once again, this is something that I would just grab as I am eating my breakfast or heading out the door. Grab a piece of fruit to go with it, I think is the simplest thing to do. And of course, that's going to add some nice fiber and more potassium, presumably, to your meal as well. There's that banana. And gonna take that one with me and just go ahead and stick the other 2 in the refrigerator for later. Okay, last recipe of today's video is going to be my chia pudding, which if you've been watching my what I eat in a days lately, you know I have been loving. So chia seeds are awesome because they are a great source of omega-3 fatty acids, and they're very, very low in omega-6s, and so they can help you kind of correct your ratio, given that a lot of us have way too much omega-6. And it's incredibly high in fiber as well. It is important to soak your chia seeds before you eat them, which the chia pudding kind of takes care of. So I have 1 can of coconut milk here, and then I have a cup of Greek yogurt and 2 tablespoons of honey. I use my immersion blender to combine that. You could totally use a regular blender as well. And now I'm going to add 4 scoops of my Perfect Supplements collagen. I'll link this below if you guys are interested. It's really high quality, free of heavy metals, from grass-fed. I think it's like Brazilian cows collagen peptides, and it's the easy way to just get a little bit of extra protein into this meal or snack, however you're going to treat it. I once again use my immersion blender to combine the collagen, and then I'm going to add my chia seeds. I'm adding half a cup of chia seeds to this recipe, and then I'm going to use a fork. You could also use a whisk to combine. Once your mixture is fully combined, you are just going to grab cute little containers. You could also just chill it in this bowl and then scoop out what you want in the morning, but I like to go ahead and measure it out so it's ready to go. But I'm going to divide it for myself into 7 portions because I've been splitting up my breakfasts recently. Like if I'm going to go on a run, I have a partial breakfast, or if I'm going to go to the gym, sometimes I have partial breakfast, eat more of it when I get back home. And so this makes it really convenient to do that, or I can add it into something else, but it still is giving me a boost of those omega-3s and of that fiber. With 7 servings, this ultimately has 12 protein a piece. If you divided it between, 4 servings, you're going to have about 21 protein a piece. I like to top it with strawberries. Peaches are also great, any type of fruit. And while this isn't quite 30 grams of protein, even if you did a quarter of the recipe, I will say it is so high fat and so high fiber that I'm not too worried about it in terms of blood sugar regulation, but you could always throw in something like a couple of those egg bites as well. Okay, that's it for today. Until next time, bye y'all.